Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. We're at the mountain today doing a range test on the new Halo drone. You're gonna see how far we can get with this thing with the controller. If you missed my watch review, this is the Pro version I got, which comes with a watch and a GPS tracking module. I have a few more reviews out using that, and also a range test on the watch. So check that out. I did it right over here following a vehicle, and you can see that how the range is on the watch. But this is just going to be with the controller. Just going to get up just above the trees and fly straight out, see how far we can get, and then come back. So let's get started with the Halo drone range test. Okay guys, wow, so I'm a little bit disappointed here. Recently I updated this Apple iPad 2 Air to iOS 11, and the screen recording is great, but now I can't for some reason connect to the video, the FPV. I get all the readings here, but when I try to go in and press video here, for some reason it says connect to Halo 5.8 video. So apparently it's connected up here on the top menu. I have a green check mark for video, but I have, when I try to start the video, for some reason, it gives me that warning there. So a little bit disappointed. I think what I might try to do, since I have an Android phone with me, is just to get this range test done, just install the Halo app on the Android and then put the Android in here and try it with the phone. So let me go ahead and do that. A little bit disappointed with the Apple. Hopefully it's not a malfunction of the hardware here and it's just a software issue with the new Apple update. But let's give it a try with the Android phone and see what we can do. Okay guys, so it looks like that was the problem. I'm recording my screen now on my Android phone. This is just the LG G6 Android phone. I have cell service on, I have Wi-Fi on here. So let's go into the Halo app. I'm not seeing a map right now, a Google map, but maybe that'll come in sooner or later. But as you can see, when I do press the video button here on the bottom right, I am getting FPV video. So I'm not sure what it was. I think it's just a application update, incompatibility with the new iOS 11. So that's a bummer, but let's just go with this. We'll start recording now, and let's just lift off immediately as soon as possible. So we're recording in 4K. We're going to go back in map, and let's just do an auto takeoff, slide to take off, and let's just see how far we can get. Alright, so it looks like the wind is going to push this one around on takeoff, so be really careful if you're doing auto takeoffs in the wind, because it doesn't give a jolt and lift off very fast. So it's just hovering there. Let's go into our FPV and let's go for it. So I just want to go up and out. I think my max speed is set to like 16 miles per hour. So I'm just going to get high enough to be above the trees, and really literally just going to go straight out here, directly in front of me. So full pitch forward in this setting I have here. Let's see if we can't rotate the gimbal down, if I can remember. Looks like it's the left stick here. So there's the trees. It looks like we're high enough above them, so that's good. And let's see what we can do here. Okay, so I just tapped the screen and I can bring in my all my options and readings here on the FPV screen. What I did notice on this one, if you're flying super fast, this is kind of like the mid-range speed. If you're flying, you can go all the way from like I want to say, was it something like 15 feet per second all the way up to 39 feet per second. So I noticed at the highest speed setting, if you're flying this fast with stick all the way forward, it looks like the camera gimbal is shaking a little bit. So I'm just leaving it as its stock speed setting, what they set. Whoops. Disconnect ground speed image. Not sure what that was, but a little warning popped up on the screen. Ground image transmission. Okay, maybe just little disconnects. Anyway, this is a range test, so let's see how far we are out from us. Whoa, record space full. Oh my gosh. Well, that kind of sucks. Sorry guys, it looks like that's all the image we could get. Now you're just going to be looking at my recorded screen. So 670 feet, and I'm getting a couple warnings here. I'm just going to keep flying out. Let's see, we can see our readings over here. We're 13 meters high from our takeoff point. Sorry about that card being full. Anyway, I'll have the Android up on the screen so you can at least see it there. So it's disconnecting off and on. Already only at just around 860 feet. So around 800 feet range, we started getting some shoddy disconnects. And you can see how it's really slow. The video is really choppy. I'm trying to push the gimbal all the way in one direction, but it looks like it's going really slow. Let me try to pick it up a little bit. Full throttle up. Let's get up a little, see if it gets a little better. Okay. Alright, so it's coming in. It looks like I have the gimbal all the way down, and it looks like it keeps disconnecting. So it looks like we're getting a range of maximum at about 1,000 meters. I'm sorry, is that 1,000 meters? Okay, so I guess that would be 1,000 meters, you know, is that a little over 3,000 feet? So just about a half a mile with this one. So I can't do anything. I'm stuck facing down with the gimbal, and it looks like our video is really choppy. So I'll tell you what, let's try this. Let's do a return to home. I'm just going to hold the H button. Felt the vibration and a beep. Let's see if we can lock back in the signal. Because really 1,000 meters was it for this one. I really wish I could see what was going on. Our video is completely goners. Let's see what the map's like. Still no Google Maps. Oh, that's too bad. I do have data on this, but apparently it's not working. Okay, so it is coming back at 10 meters per second, and it's returned to home. There we go. So I just pressed on video again. Okay, it came back, albeit a little bit choppy. Man, it's still kind of disconnecting. So range not great at all on this one, guys. Half a mile at the most, and you know, there's no interference here. This is out in the country, straight line of shot FPV, and you can see, I'll have that video of the Android up on the screen. You can see how choppy it is. Anyway, this is it. It comes back, it looks like backwards. Let me see if I can yaw it. Nope. So I can't move it around on its return to home as far as yaw goes. So that's too bad. Let's just point down, see how fast we're moving over there. And if you lose your information on the screen, just tap the screen, and there we go. So return to home is set to come back at 10 meters per second. Okay, well, there we have it. And this is how fast the gimbal's rotating down. That's maximum rotation speed. So let's see how close it just does a return to home since we're out here. See if we can yaw it now. Okay, now we can do some yawing when it reaches its return to home point. Anyway, picking the gimbal back up. Let's just see where it lands. Looks like the horizon stayed fairly level. You see the cloud line there on the video. Let's see, a few feet off. This one seems to just always be 2 to 3 feet off all the time, but that's not bad at all. That's only 2 feet off of its home position. Launched right on the H there. Interesting. Okay, so that's the range on this one. Not impressive at all. Probably due to this this Wi-Fi technology they're using, and the fact that there's not really any antennas sticking up and away from the electronics to give you good radiation for the signal. So that was only 1,000 meters of range, and even before that, the video was starting to get choppy, and I couldn't really tell what was going on. So that's basically as far as you're going to want to fly. But you know what? Let me show you what I was talking about with the gimbal rocking left to right if we can. I'm going to go back into settings here. Oh, you know what? Let me go into satellite map. I totally forgot to adjust the settings on this app I installed for the Android phone. So I'm going to go satellite, Imperial. I want Google for the map. Okay, maybe this will help me a little bit as far as some settings here. Beginner mode is off. Okay, good. RC signal lost. Okay, we don't want it to hover. We want this thing to come home when you lose signal. You see how that was adjusted there? And there's our max flight velocity. Okay, so stock it was set at 23 feet per second. Go home altitude was 66. I usually like to have this at 100 feet. Done. Check. Yeah. So it's in feet. Max distance 3,280 feet. So looks like the video was chopping out before that or right at that. Is there a limitation, or is that just the total max? Let's see if I... Oh, 3280. Okay, so yeah, that's our max. So 3280. Just want to show you guys all this stuff since we're here and we're doing all this. Yeah, so I do have everything kind of maxed out, and then I just adjusted the go home altitude. Okay, and that's it for the drone, really. There's nothing else I can really do. Don't need to calibrate anything else. So let's see if that kind of helped the map. Let's see if that comes into play now. If we go back to our map. Oh, bummer. No, I'm not seeing any Google Maps. So that's too bad. Okay, well, what I want to do then is I want to adjust the speed all the way up. Flight velocity. And now it's 33. To adjust that on its own. Let's go to 39, check. Parameters set. Okay, I got a little message. So that's the maximum speed we can go in P mode, which is GPS position hold mode. Let's go back into video. I'm still recording the screen on my phone, guys, so you can see what's up. Sorry about that SD card being full, but you'll have seen a little bit of the clip me going out, how clear that camera is. Okay, let me put it back on the H, and let's just do some crazy fast flying, and so I can kind of show you what happens. All right, so getting our information back, lifting off, slide to take off. Let's see what happens here. Worth a try. Okay, so definitely keep your distance with this one, because if you're standing downwind of it, of course, again, it will drift with a little bit of breeze. It's only really a couple miles per hour, kind of blowing from this direction. Okay, let me show you what happens with the camera. I'm gonna go up above these trees, and let me just fly around really fast. Okay, we're going quick now. Well, gosh, you know what, guys? Is it even doing it? Yeah, there, you see that little side to side? So it seems to do that when you go really fast and you're into a little wind. But not too bad today. This is his maximum speed, and it seems to be going nice and peppy. I'm going to drop it a little bit. Again, I'll have that up on the screen. Let's get a nice fast flyby here. Woo! Okay. So you can see its speed there. Feet per second, 37. It's going about. Okay, so that's its maximum speed, and it doesn't really look like the camera's doing that anymore. When I was flying into some hard wind, I was trying to do a range test up above there, and I completely was out of space on everything. The camera was wagging a little bit. So this one, not so great in wind. Kind of like remember the Walkera Vitus? That really screwed it up. Let's see what happens when we fly fast and the camera's all the way down. So I'm going to pitch it all the way down. I really wish I could have some better video for you guys. I'm going to turn back towards me. There we go. Okay, full throttle up. And you can see for yourself, I'm just recording the Android screen, remember? So you can see how smooth that video is. Let's pull that gimbal back up. Not too high, maybe about right there. Okay, so aside from the pretty limited range, it's a pretty good flyer actually. And that gimbal does look like it's staying solid and level. So that's fine by me. Might as well just exhaust this battery. You know what we'll do? Well, let off the sticks here. Let me bring it down a bit. Show you a couple more features here. Pull it in close, let off the sticks right now. Woo! So really good braking. It does drop a bit, but it was going pretty fast. Let's try this. Let's get up here and go into altitude hold. So I'm just pressing that. Okay, a little warning there. So I see how it's going to drift now. Let's get up here. Wow, that thing's going way fast. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So watch when let me come back towards me here. Now watch when I'm full throttle forward, you'll see the camera rock. Full pitch forward. It's going to get some speed. Woo! That thing is moving, isn't it? Well, it didn't do it that time. Okay. Just in some wind it does that. Wow, that was like 66 feet per second. Let's try to see the maximum it can go in altitude hold. The camera's doing it now, back and forth. Wow, that's like 80 feet per second. Okay, so we're gonna have to do the calculation on that, what that means, and we go back into P mode. What that means in mile per hour, 80 feet per second. We'll have to ask Google. I'll have that up on the screen if I remember to put that in there. Okay, well let's come back to our car here. There I am. We got 6 minutes left. Now we're in P mode, so it's going to be locking in its position. No problem. As you can see with this one, you don't get a very clear FPV picture. I think it's trying to like transcode the FPV too many times, and so your FPV is going to be nowhere as clear as like a DJI product, but that's what this one does. So there's our car, and we still have 6 minutes left. So what do we want to do? Let's come down. This is how fast it's descending. About 10 feet per second. Okay. It does fly pretty sporty and pretty good though, guys. It's just the flight time. Okay, so up on the screen I've got 5 minutes remaining and it's in red. Let's try one more return to home. I'm gonna go out here super quick. Stop it right here, and let's see if we turn the head facing us, what it does. Holding home, it's going to go up 100 feet from what it thinks its launch altitude is right there. Oh yeah, so it turned around. Comes in rear facing home point. I don't really like that. And it doesn't seem like you can really adjust that in the settings, so maybe something Halo kind of wants to fix. Lets you adjust that if you can do nose in or whatever. I don't really like that tail end because if you're coming home and you can see the FPV, you want to be able to take over if you're going to crash into something. Okay, that time it's landing. How many feet away? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4 to 5 feet away, so not that great that time, but that's okay. That's right on the edge of my tolerance for these guys. Okay, cool. So I hope you enjoyed that flight test. Let's go through a little bit of commentary, pros and cons on what we saw with that flight test. So the range, 1,000 meters absolute maximum in this kind of no interference situation. I've got no Wi-Fi except this phone, of course. It has to connect through the Wi-Fi. And let's see the maps. Yeah, so Android, not sure what's going on. I do have data on this phone here. You see up here, my data signal over there. Yeah, there it was. Hopefully you can see that. You see over there on the right, so I do have full bars of data here, 4G, so apparently it's not streaming in the map on the Android. It worked on the Apple, but Apple could not connect after the iOS 11 update, so a little bit concerned about that. Hopefully that can be updated. You can see this thing is super fast. 80 feet per second in altitude hold, about 39, 38, 37 maximum in P mode. If there's wind, I'm just saying the way the camera is shaped, the gimbal will be pushed side to side if you have a lot of wind hitting the camera. So a calm day like this, it seems to be fine, even in pretty high speeds, no problem. Again, the video I'll have had up on the screen. Sorry about that SD card being full. I just did the watch video for this, a little tracking video, and I think I burned up all the data on that. Return to home, not bad. You know, it's basically generally within 5 feet of its home position, and that's tolerable for any kind of drone like this. And of course the flight time realistically is only about 15 minutes when I did my park flight. And also this one here, I'll have had the flight time come up on the screen for our full flight time for that flight. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed that range test of the Halo drone. Definitely some drones out there that are a lot better than this, but this one has its advantages. It has that GPS module. So again, check out the review I did on the GPS module, and also I did another range test on that GPS module. But that is the range test for the controller, and I hope you enjoyed that. Links in the description to this guy. Check out the pricing and the specs, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.